you have found us well and everything is working and you are able to join us in the event tonight. If you can't hear me or are having any troubles, please just send me a message or send the 30-foot drop team a message. So, I'm Lisa and I will be going through tapping in part 5 with you tonight. So, welcome if you haven't joined us before. There are 6 parts to the webinars and tonight we're on part 5 and on Tuesday we will begin part 6 and then Wednesday part 1 and then Thursday part 2. Okay, so before we like to start, I would like to do an acknowledgement of country. 30-foot drop acknowledges the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognises their continuing connection to land, waters and the community. We pay our respects to the Indigenous people, their cultures and their beliefs, and to the elders both past and present. 30-foot drop funding. 30-foot drop would like to acknowledge the Department of Communities Disability Services for funding this and many other initiatives. Without their support, so many projects such as Two Wise Monkeys wouldn't see the light of day and we would be much more poorer for it as a community. So we are grateful for this funding. This workshop is part of the realities and advantages of an Access and Inclusion grant awarded to 30-foot drop as part of an Information, Linkages and Capacity Building grant for 2018 and 2019. Now we will head into doing some housekeeping on how the workshop is run. Unfortunately, we do not have all the resources to monitor all of the live platforms. What that means is if you're watching off Facebook or YouTube, you won't be able to send me a direct message. If you do have a direct message that you want to send me, please head to the link which is just below this video, www.30footdrop.com.au/live, and hit the live box and then you should be able to send me a message. We'll be covering a lot of information in a short period of time, so we ask all attendees to try and minimise any distractions that you might have around you. And that includes me. My children are out there hopefully doing as they're told, so if we have any distractions, it'll be my children. As well, if you talk about 30-foot drop or the Two Wise Monkeys workshop, please tag us in the information that you share. We would love to get our name out there and our message out there, because the more people that know about what we're doing and what we're trying to change, the more changes will actually happen. So let's get the message out there together. And if you know anyone that may benefit from these webinars, please send them along. You can book into them so you get reminders, or you can re-watch the ones that we've already done. It's up to you when you're free and what times you're available. Every session is recorded, so if you do want to go back on tonight's webinar, you can rewind it once I've hit the end button. And all of the research and stats that we talk about are all available in more detail on the website. So jump into the website and look up resources, and there's tons and tons of information about everything that we speak about. At the end of the webinar, we do have a short survey that we would be very grateful if everyone could fill out. It's only a few questions, and what you need to do is jump onto that link below the video, and below the live events or the live button you will see tapping in part 5, and just hit that button and fill out the survey. It's only about 5 questions, nice and easy, and that will just help us with moving forward with all of this. Okay, so I am Lisa and I am one of the Wise Monkeys. I am Hear No Evil. So just by looking at me, I hope that you will hear no evil about impairment once you hear my story. Just by looking at me, at the age of 8, I was diagnosed with mild dyslexia. Teachers used to hit me on the head, read out my low marks, and yell at me in front of my classmates, making me feel completely dumb and unworthy as it would as an 8-year-old girl. But despite these challenges growing up, I was determined to prove them wrong and succeed. I ended up finding my passion in art and photography and started using my creative brain, which has taken me all over the world. I've worked in art galleries all around the world. I've done picture framing for 12 years. I've gained museum grade certificates where I look after fine art and I can preserve fine art in framing and picture framing. Had my own exhibitions. I paint and I also do photography, selling both. So, you know, don't let an impairment or disability stop you from being who you want to be, and don't let people get you down. You know, as a child, when someone, especially a teacher, treats you in that way, you are just full of doubt. I mean, I don't think I gained my confidence in who I was until I found that passion. Up until then, I was just very, very lost within the system, I guess. But luckily, the kids around me were all really nice and supportive. And, you know, for some kids, they aren't that lucky. You know, lots of kids get bullied and all of these things because they aren't grasping what everyone else is in the same amount of time. So if you are struggling, or you know anyone that's struggling, or a child that's struggling, please let them know that life definitely does get better, and who cares if you can't spell or you can't do maths like everyone else. You don't need to be an amazing mathematician or speller to succeed in life. Everyone has their own passions and everyone has something that they are good at. It's just a matter of finding that something and sticking with it and building up confidence that you can do it. You can do it. Okay, so that is me, and the next monkey is See No Evil, and that is Ben, the director of 30 Foot Drop and the Two Wise Monkeys workshops. He's the brains behind all these projects, and he was left in a wheelchair after an accident, and because he's lived his life as an able-bodied and someone with a disability, he realised that, hey, people are treating me differently because I'm in a wheelchair, but they just don't know enough about it. They don't know how to treat me. So he thought, hey, I need to get my message out there and make some changes. And that is why we are here. Now, when we look at the monkeys, there's normally 3 wise monkeys. So we have Hear No Evil, we have See No Evil, and we have Speak No Evil. But who is Speak No Evil? Hopefully you guys guessed right as to who Speak No Evil will be tonight. It is you guys. The aim of tonight's workshop is to turn you into that wise monkey. You will begin on a journey of realising, impairment or not, that we are all human and deserve to be treated with the same respect and acknowledgement as everybody else. And how are we going to get you started on the path of the wise monkey? Speak No Evil. Well, there's a lot to learn about people with impairment and their potential impact on your business. Also, if you did really want to become that third wise monkey, we now have available these gorgeous t-shirts, which are behind me, of Speak No Evil. They're available in black and white. I have black one on. Black and white from size 5 kid size to 5XL adult size. So if you want to get your hands on one of those, head to our website and jump into the shop. But firstly, let's get you started on the path. First up, we're going to look at the Australian research so that you can understand the size of the accessible market in WA, the accessible tourism market in WA. This is an exciting market to learn about, and especially if you are watching today. This market definitely has been forgotten. Let's have a look at this lost market, and please, along the way, ask yourself, is your business meeting the needs for people with disability and impairment, especially in the tourism sector, which is what we are focusing on. After this, we will be breaking down the segment to examine the characteristics and habits of it. To finish off, we will do an open forum and chat session, but feel free to ask any questions along the way anyway. So how are we going to cover this? What will our teaching method be? The answer is fun, open and honest discussion. If we can't be open and honest about things, then we won't be able to change anything. Sorry, I'm actually reading outline and method before tapping the button. If we can't be open and honest about disability and impairment, then things aren't going to be able to change. So let's make these changes together and be open and honest. You'll notice as well that there's very little written content on the slides, and that is so that you can interact and follow along easily. There's not too much complex information, too much writing that you're having to keep up with. It's nice and easy, and it also makes it easy for people with an impairment or disability to follow along too. So someone with a vision impairment, someone with a hearing impairment can easily follow along. And if you do have a hearing impairment and you want to get subtitles, you can jump onto our Facebook page, the 30 Foot Drop Facebook page, and this is showing live there now. Turn the sound down and you will get subtitles, which is really awesome of Facebook to do that. So let's go over some terminologies which people often get mixed up. These words people get mixed up and think that, for example, access and inclusion are in fact the same thing, where they're not. So I'm going to go over these now for you. First up, we'll talk about impairment. Impairment is an injury, illness or congenital condition that causes or is likely to cause loss or difference in psychological or physiological function. In short, your impairment is your medical diagnosis. So for me, my medical diagnosis was mild dyslexia. A disability, on the other hand, is the loss or limitation of opportunities to take part in society on an equal level with others due to social and environmental barriers. It is, as the word implies, something that makes you unable to access or participate in something. So, if you own a cafe, for example, and it's got a little bit of a hill to get up there, or there's a little step or something like that, then someone with a disability is unable to access. Disability, disable, unable. Unable to access your cafe. So you can go through and you can check these things, which is what I'm going to be talking about now. So, and this is access. Access refers to the removal or reduction of physical barriers to participate in activities and functions of a community. At its core, access focuses a lot on the physical world around us and can be easily assessed with a checklist. So, say you're that cafe owner, you've got a little hill or you've got a step or something, you can go into our website and you can have a look at that checklist, and you can go around your business or shop and check, are the door frames actually wide enough for someone in a wheelchair? Are our door handles sufficient for someone to open easily? I know round door handles, which is what Ben has pointed out many times, round door handles do not work for everyone. Ben has limited mobility in his hands and he can't turn the door handle. So it's little things like that a lot of us didn't know before. So a lever door handle, everyone can use a lever door handle. So these are the things that you are going to want to check within your business to make sure that yes, we are accessible. Now, inclusion, the last one, is more of a physiological state of being and is a process hereby every person, irrespective of their age, sexuality, gender, nationality, or religion, who wishes to can participate fully in all activities and services in the same way as every other member in the community. So inclusion is making sure that no matter how people appear, where they're from, they are included and they are welcome into your business or service. Now that is inclusion, and that is really important. People are not going to feel included if you're going to segregate them, have them sit somewhere else, or having the disability toilets closed, for instance. You're not going to feel like you're included to come to that restaurant or cafe if their disabled toilets are locked. And we go over that in webinar part 4 into more detail on things that you can do in and around your business to definitely make sure that it's more accessible. But like I said before, there's a checklist on our 30-foot drop website page. Now, if there's any questions, please head over to the live chat box and I can answer any questions. Next up, we are going to look at the Southwest Tourism Stats Overview. The following stats have been taken from the Southwest 2017 Visitor Fact Sheet, as well as the economic contribution of tourism in Western Australia's tourism regions produced by Tourism WA. That's a mouthful, I hope you got that. Both stats information are found in our resource library. During the 3 years from 2014 to 2016, our region, the Southwest Australia, had an average of 2.49 million overnight visitors. This does not include day trippers. Every visitor stayed on average 3.6 nights. The direct and indirect contribution to the Southwest in 2016 and 17 was 14%. And tourism accounts for 1 in 5 people being employed in this region. Quite high. Next, the accessible tourism market. The following stats have come from a report called the Accessible Tourism Victoria and Queensland, done by the Tourism Research Australia in conjunction with each state tourism departments. Unfortunately though, no research has been done specifically that focuses on WA, but it focuses on Australia as a whole. So it also only looks at the domestic market, so these numbers are likely to be a lot higher when international visitors are included. Due to the similarities, though, between the Southwest Tourism market and those of New South Wales and Queensland, we have extracted the findings to calculate the following information. This study estimates that the size of the accessible market for overnight or day trips is 7%, or about 1.3 million people Australia-wide, equating to almost 150,000 in WA alone. The thing is, with this 7%, most of us rarely travel alone, with an average party size of 2.45 for overnight travel and 2.62 for day trips, bringing this figure now to 17%, or 390,000 of WA's population requiring accessible tourism experiences and services. Crazy. So ask yourself, is your business accessible for these people? Is your tourism business accessible? And this is an important message right now if you're watching, because with the virus that's happening or just happened, a lot of people in the tourism industry are struggling. So you need to get onto these webinars and watch them all, because you need to tap into that market. They're an untapped market, which, you know, they want to spend their money. They want to come and visit different places in Australia and the Southwest. So let's carry on. The estimated annual expenditure for this segment comes to approximately 8 billion Australia-wide, which equates to $916 WA wide and 163 million here in the southwest. Now that is a lot of potential business for us here in the southwest. Now, hopefully that's got you thinking. The unserved segment. This report noted that there is a segment of Australians with an impairment, including adults caring for children with impairments, who are not currently travelling, which is really sad, but they would like to travel with certain industry improvements in accommodation, transport and current technologies. In WA, this segment is estimated at 34,000 people, which is approximately 225 million WA wide. This represents a large boost when you consider the current size of 163 million. Understanding the market. So we know that there is a market segment of people with impairment that can be tapped into by tourism and events businesses. Let's now have a look at their needs so that you can better understand how we can serve them. Although people with impairment generally have lower incomes than the average population, they should not be considered as low income. More than 1/4 of those who identified as having an impairment or disability were in the top 2 income categories, which means they have a disposable income of $900 per week. In the Accessible Tourism Survey, they found that approximately 55% of the segment had a mobility issue. This includes people who use mobility devices and those that have difficulty moving more than a short distance. Of those in the segment that do not travel, 23% was because it was just too stressful, and the other 22% was because it was just too hard. Like this segment travel for leisure, but it was noted that visits to friends and relatives was often preferred because of knowing the layout of the accommodation, which helped with planning and resulted in a less stressful trip. Something we want to change. We want people to start coming to our businesses and services, our hotels, our Airbnbs. Understanding the market. Travellers with impairment share many characteristics with the broader population. The tools used in the decision making were just the same as the wider population, with internet searches coming in first and word of mouth second. Reconnection and unwinding are core needs for all Australian travellers, and this is just as true for someone with a disability or impairment. Approximately 40% of travellers with an impairment sought to meet their needs through either being more active, more emotionally or intellectually stimulating experiences. So that stat just highlights to us that we all just want and need the same thing, and that is to feel included in your business. Although travellers with an impairment did slightly fewer activities, many of their experiences they participated in matched those of the broader population, doing things like eating out, visits to the beach, nature walks, and cultural experiences. Overall, they tended to stay in the same types of accommodation and visit the same destinations as the broader population, and of those visitors, only 14% were over 65. So it's not just the older people, that are needing this. It's only 14%. There are many other families with children with disabilities and impairments wanting to come and use your business or service. So we are wanting to create a service that is going... Cara, let you go. I'm out in a minute. Yeah, I'll get in a minute. I'm busy. No, out. Excuse me. Now, I am on a video. Can you go out now? Shut the door, please. Sorry about that. So this just shows that there is a lot of people out there who are needing your business. It is not just the older population. There are many families and people who I'm sure would love to come and visit your business if their needs were met through having more things available for them, as far as handrails, as far as the doors being wide enough and easy to help them get into bed, different things that you can have within their business to make it accessible and inclusive. So I hope that you enjoyed this very quick webinar tonight. It is a short one tonight, but I hope that you will join me next week for tapping in part 5. Now I'm going to hit the question button, and if anyone has any questions, please feel free to send those questions along. But if you do have to go and have dinner or get the kids into bed, which is what I will be doing very soon, feel free to go. But I will now hit the question button and see if you have any questions. Going. Welcome back, everyone. There are no questions tonight, which is fine. I hope you all enjoyed tapping in part 5. There's a lot of information to take in, but if we can go through what we need to do to make these changes and implement them within our business, then more people with disability and impairment are going to start visiting, and it will have a flow-on effect to other businesses. Everyone else will want to jump on board and accommodate these very special people. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you guys on Tuesday next week for tapping in part 6, which we look at specific needs of the market. So join me then and have a good weekend, everyone. I hear it's meant to be quite stormy this weekend, so stay safe and I will see you all soon. Bye.